My mom says this phrase. She says, people do what they want to do. It's not that complicated, but it seems like a very complicated little phrase because when she says it to you, or it's repeated back to you by somebody that she gave the advice to, aka my grandma. My grandma is more so the one that says that to me than my mom. But my mom said it to my grandma. So that's where it came from. But whenever she says that to me, I always think of all the many reasons why it's not that simple. Because it's always got to be deeper than that. It's always got to be bigger than that. It's always got to be more complicated than that. And even if it is, what actually is happening is what we're going to go off of. You know, like you can think into it as deep as you want to, or, you know, try to make as many excuses as you want. But people do what they want to do. And before I was about to say this, it kind of reminded me of the thing people say where it's like, if he wanted to, he would. And people make a ton of excuses about that one. But kind of going with yourself as for a really long time, and being so honest here, for a really long time, I have, tried to work out, eat healthy, do this, do that. And pretty much it's always been because I wanted to be skinny. Like I just wanted to be fitting an image that I felt like I was supposed to be fitting. And I didn't always do this, but later, like more recently, I had started to say like I wanted to be healthy. I just wanted to be healthy because in my head, the people that I wanted to look like, they were healthy, right? And maybe they are. I take back my little, because they could be like so healthy, very, very much so taking care of themselves. But the problem with it was I didn't really want to be healthy. Like I didn't actually want to eat healthy and feel good. I didn't actually want to move my body so I could feel good. I didn't want to do all of these things so I could feel good. Because fun fact, the true benefit of doing all of the BS that you see people do to take care of themselves and be healthy is because they feel so good. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it impresses some people and like there's other, benefits behind it or whatnot. But the phrase, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, is very true. And, you can twist that how you want to twist it, but it feels good. And essentially, I just kind of thought about it as it used to be so hard for me to, get myself to stay accountable, stay consistent, and do all of the stuff. And I was like, it's almost like a thing where the motivation and the this and the that, it just doesn't work. Like it lasts a minute and it'll really get you all hyped up, but it doesn't really go further than that. I had to take a little minute. I was on a walk last night and there was a bunny in the middle of the road, and I think he got hit by a car and was just like stunned because he was just sitting there alive and well ish. He had a little blood drip coming from his nose, so I was like, something's not right. But he was sitting on the yellow line in the middle of the road, and I didn't know what to do. I could not leave him there, her, whatever. I couldn't leave him there, and so I took my flashlight and I just shined it on the bunny in the middle of the road, and I just stood there while the cars drove by around the bunny, made sure that they didn't hit the bunny. It didn't move. I think he was just stunned. And then at a certain point, I kind of was like, I got to figure out what to do. I can't stand here all night and just shine a flashlight on this bunny. And so then in my head, I was going to take the bunny home with me, and I was going to save the bunny or bring it to like one of those wildlife rehabilitation centers. Uh, so I tried to get the bunny, and for a while, he was like not fighting it. They were not fighting it. And then at a certain point, they got out of the road. And so life was good. And so I just stood on the side of the road, and I was like, okay, cool. You know, at least we're not just standing in the middle of the road now. So, like, I'll hang out with you here for a minute. And then when I really tried to, like, pick him up, because I was just going to carry him a mile back home, no joke, and figure it out. But once I finally figured out that I had a plan on how I was going to grab this bunny, because it's a wild bunny and I don't know, what kind of things it's carrying. I did have my gloves on, but their teeth are not a joke. So I was pretty scared, and but he was just like not fighting it. And so I don't know why I keep calling this bunny a he. Maybe it is a he. Intuitively speaking, the bunny is now a he, because damn. Anywho, so the bunny and I had our little moment, and once I really tried to catch him, I think maybe that like healed him. It was like nature, the calling. It was like, whoa, 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 we are not going home with this girl. And so it just took off, not into the road, into like a tree or like a bush. And I kind of like went up to it, and it didn't really run away. But then when I tried to catch it again, which probably shouldn't have done that, it went and tried to like get away. And so I decided that if it has survival instincts to try and get away from me and it's hopping around, which it wasn't doing that before, it's probably okay. And I don't need to hang out all night outside people's houses, making them think that they're about to get attacked because I'm rustling up in the bushes and the leaves trying to catch this bunny. So I think he just got stunned. That's what we're going to call it. That was my interlude. That's not what an interlude is, I don't believe. But my little mid-break little story. Back to what I was talking about. But my mom says that phrase, and me, I'm trying to get healthy, right? And essentially, I just realized like this was so difficult for me. But very recently, this is very recently, that it truly clicked in my head that I want to feel good. Like I perform better and exist better in this world when I feel really good. So that's why I want to do all of the healthy things that I'm doing. And when that really hit my brain, I started paying attention very closely. When I eat this, how do I feel? And shocker, newsflash, some of the things I was eating was not making me feel good. So I told myself, well, do you want to feel good or do you want to eat this? I want to feel good. And before I completely got to that point, there was this like in between period where I realized like I was self-sabotaging, and I would literally go and eat things that were gonna make me not feel good. Like they were making my tummy upset, and it just doesn't make sense. And I thought about it, and I was like, that's real. That's really an act of, self-love to truly do what you're trying to do because you genuinely want to be healthy and take care of yourself. But since that clicked in my brain, it's not like I don't eat any type of little snack or anything, because there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But I've been like having really no problem reminding myself to consume mostly whole foods, drink a lot of water, maybe throw some lemon in there, all the things. And I thought about it, and it's because people do what they want to do. This is really what I want to do. So this is what I'm going to do. Before, I wanted to be thin. I wanted to look a certain way in clothes. I wanted this or that. But now I want to look and feel my best. And what goes into that? X, Y, and Z. So I'm doing it. And I don't even really have to fight myself. Now, what I do have to do is continue to love myself this much. That's the kicker. And it's very, I'll just give the example I had this morning is I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So wrong that I might as well have woke up on the floor. And basically, I went to get ready for this walk right now, and everything about me was not in a good mood. And it was just like, oh, don't have this. Guess we're not going to go right now. And it's not like I wasn't going to plan to go today. Like the whole entire time in my head, that wasn't really the issue. It was, we're not going to do it now. We're just going to push it off till later. And that's not the vibes, number one. But, well, just additionally, basically is I literally walked out of the house and I was like, oh, it's so cold outside. It's so stupid. Like just being pissed off because it's cold. And I came back inside and was like, okay, well, we're going to get a hat and we're going to get some gloves because it's cold. So we want to make sure we have the things that we need. Cool. And then I went back outside and it wasn't as bad. And I told myself, I was like, this really is good for you. Like this brings so much value to your day. And legitimately, it is backed and proven by science. Don't ask me to quote it because right now I can't. I just know this. I just know it's backed by science that if you go outside and go for a walk, it does good things for you. Okay? And guess what? I decided that I was going to continue to try and stay positive and optimistic, if you will, about this walk. That it was going to be a good walk. And then I wasn't going to be cold the whole time. Because once I start moving, I'm going to heat up. And I was right. I could take this hat off right now. But, once I did, I'd have to adjust my hair. And I don't really feel like doing that right now. So we're just going to keep rocking. And then it made me think, where did I get this piece of information? And, well, which piece of information? The piece of information that I got from my mom or the piece of information that I'm about to talk about? The piece of information that I'm about to talk about is choosing to love yourself. And choosing to love yourself is such a phenomenon. I have not cracked the code to self-love, so I'm not even really going to get too far into all of that there. But I have learned that I'm going to take advice from people that, I feel like I would admire or want to aspire to be like. And there is an individual named Alex Hormozi, and something that you hear him say all the time is that having a positive attitude, even like in a bad situation, or maybe just like regularly, just like being somebody with a positive attitude, is an actual almost like skill and just like great quality trait to have. And I believe that because I used to think that being positive was something that people just did. But apparently, and I've heard other people say this than him, like, in just kind of to support it, like supporting evidence, is we are naturally going to be negative. Like, that's kind of the natural human response. So, if you can be positive, then you're already going against the grain. And you're going to have to teach yourself how to do that. So, like, understand naturally, it's going to be very easy to want to self sabotage or just be negative or not be in a good mood. But if you can decide to be positive, decide to love yourself, decide to, you know, do this because this is what is going to support you and your goals, it's that's good stuff. So I would say take all of that as you will and wrap it up in a bow and just get on with it, because right now it's true, I already feel better and I'm less than 2 miles into this 4 mile walk, and I have pretty much accomplished probably a video for the week. And yeah, so I'm off to a great start today. And if I would have went back inside and been like, this day is gonna be dumb, it's cold outside, I wouldn't be feeling like this right now. So yeah, maybe you just gotta be a little bit silly, a little bit silly, goofy, crazy. um be as you will. Essentially, I just saw an albino squirrel. I love living here. Is that an albino? I mean, is there another animal that I could be seeing? Because bet you I wouldn't have saw that today if I wouldn't have came outside. Bestie, come back out. I would show you, but I don't really want to interrupt my vision because I know I'm not going to get a good enough shot for it to really even matter anyway. Bestie, where are you? Oh, dang, there was a whole other fence line down here. That is a white squirrel. Y'all, I'm cooking to have a good day. I'm cooking to have a good day. So you should too. You should have a good day. You should also subscribe to my channel because then you can enjoy some good positive energy every day of your life. And who doesn't want that? And also, you should like this video because I feel like we had a good time. I feel like we had a good combo here. Yeah, I'm gonna get on with my walk so that way I can enjoy my breathing. It's kind of hard to breathe when you're actively speaking and walking up hills. So, I'll have a fabulous one, and off I go.